Dads in anime have to be some of the most neglectful individuals I have ever seen. I mean seriously, like a rock would probably nurture you better than a father in anime. I made a video about mothers in anime and honestly, I felt like they were very caring, loving people. Most of the time. Fathers in anime, on the other hand, I mean, I don't know what is going on. Why are you making your child fight an extraterrestrial threat that could wipe out all of humanity as practice? What are you doing? You're fumbling the bag, bro. But honestly, I think some of this hate is very unwarranted. I think some fathers in anime can be very good and they can have some very good qualities. But most of them are pretty shit.
For the love of God, can we talk about Goku for a minute? My goodness, bro, I'm surprised Gohan turned out to be an upstanding citizen who got a proper education when he was placed into situations fighting monsters like this. Now, don't get me wrong, the Cell Saga is probably my favorite Dragon Ball arc, but I mean, what was Goku cooking with this? And Vegeta is even worse. Bro just abandons his family at one point because he sees them as inconveniences, and then he'd just be like, you guys could be kind of useful. My brother, you are throwing the carcass to die. What are you doing?
Damn, no wonder Frieza was racist.
A major component of being a warrior is to be independently strong, but I mean still, Saiyans have to do better at being parents. But of course, we could never forget about Gendo getting the robot Ikari. My man Gendo is just constantly mad at the world, being a full-blown hater like, wah, my wife is dead. No one cares. He seriously woke up every day just to hate, especially on Shinji. He's never home with Shinji, gets frustrated whenever Shinji understandably doesn't want to go to the robot, and the craziest thing is that he holds resentment for Shinji and himself because Gendo thinks he can't be a good enough father for him. I mean, bitch, did you even try?
Now look, he is just as messed up as every other character in Evangelion, so I am heavily exaggerating here. But honestly, to me, even though it is much more difficult to be a single parent, it seems like he just didn't put in like any effort at all. Like, bro, why are you making another quiet blue-haired anime girl? We have enough of those already, please.
Now, some of this is Shinji's fault for being distant, and that's kind of the whole point of Evangelion. How you want love while simultaneously you push everyone away. Of course, this is a very nuanced topic, and I'm just trying to make an unfunny video, but this wouldn't be a problem if Gendo understood his role as a parent. I mean, seriously, like, if you needed your wife so much to raise a child, maybe don't have one. No wonder the kid hates you, bro. You're obsessed with this weird blue-haired clone thing. I mean, what the fuck? He's a perfect example of just a very bad father. Just takes no responsibility, even despite feeling immense guilt. You gotta do better, little bro. This girl ain't gonna cut it. She looks like a decaying corpse.
Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
You also have the dads who just never speak to their children, like they just leave them at 3 years old and they never ever speak to them again. Looking at you, Ging.
My man really took the whole gonna go get the milk bit seriously. His son is born and then he just dips for his entire childhood and makes Gon go on a whole ass Elder Scrolls side quest to find him. Jing's reasoning was that he wanted to continue being a hunter instead of a father. Of course, Ging is extremely talented and one of the best hunters ever. But like really, you couldn't just wait until your kid was at least somewhat older?
Maybe if you weren't fucking your wife raw, we wouldn't have this issue.
I think you can see a trend that dads in anime tend to be just very distant from their children. Sometimes they won't even be screwed up like Gendo. It could be a nice guy like Ging who just dips on his kid after being unable to pull out. There's a trend with a lot of these fathers that, well, they don't really care about their kids. And I mean, look, many of these guys are very busy people who have to do other very important things. Gendo is the leader of Nerve, Goku is fighting godlike aliens, and you got Ging who just, I don't know, sits in a tree or something. But that doesn't matter when you can't take care of your own children. I mean, who cares about Nerve, Gendo? This shit sounds like a type of cancer.
While many of them might be terrible fathers, I think a lot of them honestly kind of raise their kids indirectly.
As absolutely insane as Goku is as a father, putting his children into these life-threatening situations prepared them quite nicely to fight any new intergalactic alien creatures. Ging leaving was the main reason Gon originally wanted to become a hunter. There's no excuse for Gendo, but hey, I'm sure he has good intentions too. And honestly, as much as I've shit on dads in anime so far, I think that there are some that are very, very good. And by the way, they don't have to be blood-related dads. Honestly, father figures in anime in general tend to be better than the fucking biological dad. I feel the reason for this is that if you're willing to take on some of these admittedly very weird kids, you probably care about them a lot. Take for instance Jiraiya from Naruto. He took his chance with an outcast in the village, a child who is shamed for being different and someone who is quite weak. Jiraiya went fully through with it and even trained Naruto for 3 years, which didn't end up really amounting to anything for him, but whatever, it's the thought that counts, okay? But Jiraiya was a good father figure for Naruto because Jiraiya wanted to take him. He cared about him even more than Naruto's own dad maybe even did. Now, of course, not every parental figure is good. This guy wasn't really a parent, but I mean, what the fuck was the third Hokage doing? You gave Naruto this as his home? Even with this though, I still think the majority of non-biological father figures care about the kid more than the biological father.
Now, while there are many good father figures in anime, I think there are some biological dads in anime that are actually genuinely good dads. A glaring example would be Akio from Clannad. Yes, the Clannad meat munching feels absolutely fantastic in my mouth. Thank you very much.
He sincerely cares about his daughter and what she's doing, and even if he pretends like he doesn't. He's very careful with who Nagisa gets with and really makes sure he knows Tomoya very, very well. But then, and I'll give you a spoiler warning for Clannad After Story here in case you've committed the absolutely heinous sin of not watching it, after Nagisa's death and the birth of Ushio, this bitch boy Tomoya leaves and Akio and Sanai both take care of Ushio. Like, seriously, they don't even just put up Ushio for adoption or demand that Tomoya take the kid, no. They just take care of it out of love and respect for their own daughter's wishes.
This is an example of a dad that actually cares about their kid and doesn't just go on some whole ass side quest to make this weird blue-haired anime girl thing that's also somehow supposed to represent like his wife or something, his dead wife. I don't really know what's going on there. It sucks though because it also seems like he's the only dad that actually does his fucking job. I don't know what happened to the other dads, but I mean, if you're giving your kid a room like this, I mean, would it have really hurt to wear 2 layers of protection? I mean, would it really have been that intrusive?
I feel that a part of this is also on the kids in these anime as well. I mean, seriously, like, some of these little fucks are so annoying. Believe it! Believe it! Believe it! Shut up! Oh no, I don't want to fight the Wobot. Shut up! It's not entirely their fault though. Yes, dads can be pretty neglectful most of the time, but you need to look at all the factors at play. I mean, shit, I wouldn't want to raise Sasuke either. Like, who the fuck would want to do that?
Now, I could totally be reading into this way too much, and it could just be the generic trope of brave father inspires his son to become the best thing in the world, or whatever, best, you know, shitter or something, I don't know. But honestly, I think it makes some of the dads pretty cool. I mean, Shanks, while not being a father, I think fulfills that role for Luffy. Because of how mysterious and badass he is anytime he's on screen, he's one of the most beloved characters in One Piece and for Luffy. I mean, seriously, like, he just came in during one arc, one time, and people still love him. I mean, it's quite an anomaly. That mysterious element in certain dads, I think, has its own charm as well, and I think can leave a profound impact on the child. Shanks inspired Luffy to become a pirate just because Shanks was a powerful, strong guy that Luffy could look up to.
You could even apply this principle to other dads. I mean, Ging inspired Gon to become a hunter because of Jing's prolific yet very mysterious status as a hunter. I feel many dads in anime raise their kids indirectly in a way that mothers typically don't, you know? I mean, we could just call this all child neglect, but it's anime and there's always some deeper meaning to everything. I feel dads have a very different place compared to moms, and I feel that this difference should be made apparent. Yes, dads are far more polarizing, but I feel that the experiences they give their kids can also be as valuable as the mother in raising their child to be a strong, respected individual. But I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, so I'm just gonna shut up. Dads in anime have always been very controversial. There are many who are bad and only some who I would consider good. But that doesn't mean that the bad ones are completely terrible. There are some interesting qualities in a lot of these characters, and I think we need to cut some of them some slack. Sure, many of these fathers may not be directly involved in their kids' lives, but more so indirectly and can leave a massive impact on their child, whether they realize it or not, and whether it's a good or bad impact.
Oh yeah, and this grown-ass man tried to kiss a minor.